Alright, y'all, welcome back to another Johnson investment video. So, I know y'all been seeing how gold has been going crazy lately. And, gold about to make a lot of people like rich, a lot of money, especially if you catch the right moves. But, I think gold definitely has potential to definitely hit 5,000. Definitely for sure 4,000 for sure. Just to show you like the kind of potential to the upside of what, gold can do. Let's go to here real quick. Let's 5,000 is about right here. Ain't gonna be close, but close enough. Kind of give you idea target. Then 4,000 right here. 4,000. So 4,000 is about right here. Ain't gonna be accurate, but it's close enough. So just kind of show you, and it's a daily time frame right here. So this kind of show you how far price can go. So this is a lot of room to the upside right here. So like I say, with the right moves, y'all do it right, you make a lot of money. So as you can see, we're about to roll into the next quarter. So let's talk about, okay, how should we expect the next quarter to be, right? First, let's look at this quarter right here. Let's zoom in a little bit and let's look at this quarter. We can see here that on this quarter right here, so we got right now, you see this the 3 months right here. So this right here, this whole entire candle, we're on a daily chart, but it's showing us what price did overall for the past three months. So you can see here we got 2 trading days left. So October 1st will be a new quarterly candle opening. So if you understand the basic anatomy of how a candle operate, right? Usually after a huge expansion, you expect price to retrace down and go up. Now, sometimes price might open and push up first, then come down. It doesn't matter. Long eventually at some point it retrace down, right? That same concept you can use on every single time frame. If you look here, right, you can see how price was bullish here, and then on the next quarter we opened, retraced down, then went up. Same thing with this. It kind of retraced down just a tad little bit and then start going up. Even here, you can see how price. I mean, it's the same concept. Price came down, went up. Next quarterly, price came down, came up. So obviously, each retracement is different. You know what I'm saying? So, but so my expectation is to see kind of on the next quarter, to see kind of price retrace at least a little bit. So if we look at levels where price can go into, we got levels like this, because this is an area where price broke out of but never really came back to, so we can mark that as a good level for price come back to. So then if we kind of zoom in, also we look at the previous week. Now for this week right here, for the current week, I am bullish. So we can see right here, we can see how on this week right here, price definitely closed very strong on this candle right here. So we look at the daily chart, kind of zoom in onto that, right? We can see where price actually also broke out of this range here. So we see where price came down and went up and broke out of it. So we kind of take that, we can kind of put this level right here, because this is an area where price broke out of. And not just that, it also lines up with our weekly level where price broke out of. So to show you this is a good level that price can come back down to and go up. Because why? If you go back to the basic anatomy of how candles operate, on the weekly, we expect to open and retrace down a little bit and then go back up higher. That's just the basic anatomy of how a candle operates. And so that's kind of, I have 3 ways how I find my, support and resistance levels. One way, by overall structure. So for example, by overall structure, we can see how price pushed up, came down, creating this little swing high, and it broke out of it. So this would be considered my support level. Why? Because we expect price to retrace down, continue higher. So that's one way. The second way is by just looking at the last down candle before the up move. So you see how this candle here, this is the last down candle before the up move. So I might take this and I'll put a block right here, because this is the last down candle before the up move. So that's one way how I will find my support levels. That's a little more advanced. So the third way is by looking at the current candle formation. I can see here that on here, this is the previous day where price broke out of. So I will mark that as well too, because for every, if you know about candles, on every candle there is a range within every candle. So this is a high from the previous candle. So I will mark that, right? So now I have all my support levels, or what I'm looking at. And the way how I look at it is, the higher time frame is your future. It shows what price is going in the future. Your lower time frame is your present. You know, it shows what current price action is doing. You know, so with that being said, so if you kind of look back at all this, right, on the lower time frame, let's say if price did came down to here, right, on the lower time frame, it's gonna look like price is going into a deep retracement. But in reality, all it did was just retrace down into here and then went up higher. I can see that happening. You know, I don't really see price coming down to here, but we're gonna still market because you just never know. I don't see that happening, but you just never know. Like I said, when we get into that new quarterly open, you definitely expect price, you know, to at least make some kind of retracement, whether it's retracing down to in here and going back up higher, or whether if retracing all the way down into here and then going up higher. Now, if you go all the way down to here, then obviously what we want to see is we want to see a clear break below here. If it, let's say if price break below here, I wouldn't even say here. I'd probably say if price breaks below here, if price break below here, then at that point, then yeah, I'll probably be looking to see if price trying to come back down into here. You know, there'll be the first sign when price come into here and retest, you know, and then see it come into this zone. At this point, is where you want to kind of buy at, you know. But let's say that level didn't work, then obviously at that point you start seeing it start going down deeper. So it's really just whatever price decides to show you, you know. At the end of the day, our job is not to predict price; it's just to do what current price action is showing us. And right now, current price action is showing us that we're, you know, we're in a nice bullish uptrend. We just made a clear breakout on the level here, so we kind of go by that, right? But that's kind of give you the overall view of what how price can different, you know, different scenarios what price can do, you know. Now let's go to the 4 hours. So I'm gonna change this. So we just to summarize this. We already have the quarterly expectation. We know price will make some kind of retracement on going into October, you know. So before it decide to go up higher, you know, and you never know. Price might end up, you know, hitting 4,000 this week. I mean, you just never know with how the momentum is going, you know, especially closing strong. So, let me change this real quick. So then let's kind of go to the 4 hour now. Change this to daily. Then go back, go to the 4 hour. So now we on the 4 hour, right? Let's kind of zoom into this. Let me remove this real quick so you don't get confused. So as you can see this is where that structural level. You can see where this is that breakout. The price happened on daily, where price came up, never came back to. And we also can see how we're currently, you know. Now what does catch my attention is this right here. This is the 4 hour candle right here. So usually after an expansion, right, and with price closing bearish right here, breaking below this previous up candle, right, we want to wait for at least the next candle to close bullish within this, either two things, either close within this range or close above this range. So it don't have to close above this range. It just have to close bullish within this range, and that'll be a clear sign of a clear reversal pattern to see price go back up higher. So because usually after expansion, from my experience, when price does stuff like this, then you know you just never know. Price can easily push back down. You know, so that's why it's best to really wait for them that first four, at least the first 2 hours, you know, or the first 3 hours, and then kind of, you know, see how it's going to be, you know. But now it's kind of go to the 15-minute, you know, so we can see how this weekly level where price can, you know, how this previous level where price can kind of come back into. You just never know, and then go back up higher, or maybe even push into this, taking this previous low weekly level out, tapping into here, going up higher. So just you know, kind of never know. So as you see, right, so as we go to the 15-minute right now, we can kind of see where we at in the present. So I usually don't go to lower than the 15-minute or the 5 minutes is the lowest I'll go, to be honest. When it comes down to that, really look at the present. You know, as you can see, we're in this nice momentum coming down, right? So you can see how we kind of back in the zone. We're losing the range bound right here, right? And then price broke out of it, and then we kind of back into that, right? So this is why I say we kind of want to wait for what this 4 hours is going to do, because price can easily continue going down. So it can come, like I said, come down to this level, you know, maybe, because as you can see what this show you right here now. It shows you what happened overall within the day. So it's showing you the price action overall throughout the day. You kind of see how price came down, broke out of it. We kind of still within this kind of range right here. So we're just going to kind of see that happen. But usually after these kind of formation, you kind of want to see price, and also it could come to the opening here too. Let me mark this opening too. So this is a clear open that price can come to, so I can mark this as well too. This is my opening, because this is the opening of here. So if you look kind of deeply into that, right? We'll keep it here too. You look deeply into that, then you'll see how this kind of still line up within this structure to see price pushed up higher. So we're just gonna see. So that's kind of like my input of what I'm looking at for gold and how I kind of expect things. You probably ask me, okay, well, how do you know what level to buy at? Well, you'll know when price give you a clear breaking structure. As price continue right now, if we look clear as day, zoom in on this, look clear as day, we're in a clear downtrend. Even if I go to the 5-minute, you can see more deeper into that trend. We're in a clear downtrend as price continue to go down. So that's kind of how I know what to kind of look for, because we're in a clear downtrend. So, if I take this, put this up from a 4-hour candle, change it to 4 hours. So you can see here we in a clear downtrend. So remember, this is that 4-hour, where price closed below that candle. So this is that 4-hour candle. So you can kind of see here, well, okay, hey, look, price can easily, that's pretty much this, as you can see, we can probably retrace up into here and then continue going down. So that's why I say, just kind of gotta wait and see what price, does. But right now we are in a current little retracement, which on a lower time frame looks like a downtrend currently. So you can even mark this right here on the 5 minutes. We can go by here and mark this. But this is how you do top down analysis. See how everything lines up. Boom. We mark this. So that could be price pushing back up into here and then going lower. So that's why I always say you gotta kind of wait, especially you gotta wait to see what price gonna do. So like I said, that's kind of my input of what I'm looking at for the gold. But yeah, make sure y'all trade at your own risk. You're risking your own capital. Be smart, make smart decisions. Do not allow your emotions to get in between. Have proper risk management. As long as you get in at the right time, you definitely make some bread. So it's for sure that gold is gonna be bullish going into this week and going in for the next quarter. So other than that, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.